Welcome, everybody. We are at the May 2025 PIHRA member orientation. Thank you so much for joining. This is the second time I've done this on Teams, and today I'm at this fantastic standing up desk. So I'm kind of excited to be here with you today. We're going to spend the next 60 minutes together. So if you want to grab some lunch, or something to drink, a beverage, that's great. We'll have a little time now if you want to go run and do that. Um, I will be sharing some slides. I hope that you see them. I will also provide you the slides post webinar. So don't worry about taking notes on the slides. If there's something that isn't on the slide and pertains to you, please do take notes. But again, this afternoon at some point, I will send you the slides along with some notes and URLs to information that you might be helpful or information that you requested. Uh, I'm just letting people in. People are still joining. So again, welcome, welcome. This is our agenda today. We're in the welcome and general update portion. I then am going to, there's a poll. There should be a poll in the chat, so hopefully that'll work. And really, I want to focus on those things that when you decided to become a PIHRA member, or if you're in that decision-making process, I want to cover those things that you want to walk away with. So what is the info? So start thinking about what is that information that you want to walk away with, and we'll hopefully the Teams poll will work. I'll then go through some introductions. I'll introduce myself and another member of the membership team, and then also introduce our special guests, who I'm really excited about. Um, uh, Following that, we will go through a PIHRA overview. So I'll give you an overview of the organization, our relationship with SHRM, and our chapters and our special interest groups. And I won't talk too much about the PIHRA and SHRM member benefits, but really focusing on the PIHRA benefits. But if anyone has questions, again, please put it in the chat. We may or may not have time for you to ask the question live because there is a lot to cover. But I will be talking about our benefits and then talking about learning and networking at PIHRA, which I really feel is the foundation of why people become a PIHRA member, and then we'll just wrap it up. So I want to make sure that you feel comfortable asking me questions. Please do so in the chat. My special guest will also be checking the chat, and the networking begins now. So this is a great opportunity for us to network virtually. I'm going to put my LinkedIn in the chat. And also, I'm at my standing up desk in downtown Los Angeles. Actually, my wonderful sister has a office in the Oviatt building. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. And so today I'm working from here in downtown LA. So let us know where you're coming in from today, and also share your URL, because this is a great opportunity for us to start networking. All right. Um, let's get going. So as a part of the general update today, I want you to know that as PIHRA members, you get up to 3 free webinars per month. We just finished the California HR conference. So in May, we were light because everyone was focused on the May conference, which was fantastic. I've gotten some really great feedback from the conference. And if you didn't attend, please put it in your training budget for next year. It's right around $1,200. Uh, uh, Without hotel. So I'd budget around $2,000 with hotel. It happens in May every year. I don't think we have a confirmed date, but so that's why we haven't had as many webinars this month. But I do have a list of all of the events that are going on at the end of the rest of May and in June. Also, PIHRA chapters are meeting. They're hosting in-person meetings. And like I said, I'm going to give you a list of all the upcoming meetings at the end of this webinar. So please stay tuned for that. And that is just a great place to meet people and get the affordable, actionable, and accessible professional development that you may need. Always check the PIHRA calendar. We do have microsites for our chapters, and some of our chapters do meet consistently on the same day of the month, every month at the same location, but that's rare. So you want to go to the calendar to verify the meeting event, what the topic is, and to register in advance. If you're members, that is the best way to get your member discount on professional development. But please always check the calendar. And I'm stressing that today because just the other day I had a person call me. They attended the meeting in Antelope Valley and it wasn't happening on that day because they didn't check the calendar first, which was kind of a bummer. So just admitting some people. Thank you so much. We have a big crowd today, so I welcome all of you. Again, if you missed it, I will be sharing some slides. Hopefully you see my slide up now. I will send you the slides with also some additional information about the questions that usually come up on my member orientation. But the next thing we're going to do is go to a poll. So hopefully the poll is in the chat. If you could just send me a quick chat to see, it's the very first poll. It's called, what information are you interested in receiving most during today's member orientation? Actually, Garen, can you tell me, do you see that at the top of the chat? Or anybody, do you see that? Oh, hi, Allison. I'm in Long Beach a lot, so hopefully I get to see you.
The poll is not it's just check mark or X.
Okay, so you don't see one above that?
I'm not seeing.
Ooh, all right. Well, let's see if I can launch that again. If not, we're going to have to go a different route.
My cell phone and I could see it as the first question right now.
Oh, wonderful. Can you respond to it? I'm going to share
I
it
did.
again. Awesome.
Okay, I'm seeing it now.
Okay, great. So I want to make sure that the next 60 minutes is valuable to you. What is it you want to walk away from this webinar with? And if you could just, hopefully this worked. And I think you can select multiple things. So that'll be really interesting for me to see. Let me go back to the chat. What do you want to walk away from this webinar with in terms of information about PIHRA? Do you want to know more about the chapters? Do you want to know more about monthly meetings? PIHRA hosted seminars and conferences, the PIHRA Workplace, which is a fantastic online platform by Mineral, our academic discount, HR certification, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm seeing people are responding. People want to know about, okay, monthly meetings, I feel is a number one. And then conferences is up there, volunteering is up there. Monthly meetings is a winner here. Some HR certification, folks. And if there's anything else, okay, I only see 5 responses, but gosh, there's almost 18. There's probably 18, 16 without me and Garen. So again, we're doing a poll right now. It's in the chat. It might be at the very top of the chat or somewhere in the recent chat. Not sure where you're seeing it, but if you could let us know. I don't think I have the poll either. Okay, Mitch, Aubrey, Allison, let us know in the chat. What do you want to hear from? What do you want to walk away from this orientation with?
I
Vlada,
think
please. Go ahead,
I think
Karen.
if you actually I saw the polls when you go to actual polls, and like that top, like so it seems like you have to actually go to the polls
Okay, if you see
section.
polls, go to
That's
that.
when I saw it.
Okay. Pirate chapters. So I'm going to give it another 30 seconds. If you don't see the poll, not to worry. Just put, what you're interested in learning about in the chat. All right. Monthly meetings is top. Hosted conferences. So HR certification, something else. Okay, so if it's something else, just put it in the chat. Let me go back down and I'm gonna kind of move forward. Thanks. Oh, good. You found it. Definitely HR certification. Monthly meetings, HR certification. Okay, well, let's move on. I see that some of you have found it fantastic. Other of you just put it in the chat, and we'll keep going on. I'm going to focus on the chapters and monthly meetings and some other things that we have going on. So let's keep going. I want to introduce myself a little bit. I'm here, Lily Arguello. My formal name is Liliana, and I am the Director of Membership at PIHRA. And I've been with PIHRA going on 11 years now. I love my team. I love working with PIHRA. I have a background, so I came out of UCLA undergrad working for a professor at the Anderson Graduate School of Management. And so I kind of grew up in the consulting world. I worked my way up at, it was a boutique organizational development consulting firm. And I grew up in consulting doing organizational assessment, strategic planning. I then moved on to facilitating strategic planning, conducting organizational culture audits, structure audits, then doing management training. And then I thought, I wanted to start a family. Consulting was just, the 80-hour work weeks got a little too much. And I knew that's probably not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I wanted to go internal in HR or OD. That was tough. I ended up, it was right around 2008 during the, I think they call it the Great Recession, when we had the real estate market crash, and went into nonprofit. So I joined a nonprofit in the housing industry, which was, perfect setting. And I got to use my project management skills. And from there, ended up joining the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, which, if you don't know, it is the largest leadership program for young women and women in the world. And I was recruited by my boss today, who I'll introduce you to in a moment, through LinkedIn. So just a little plug, have a great LinkedIn profile, and also a plug for volunteer leadership, because the only way he found me is because I was helping to grow the National Association of Women MBAs, which is another association. And we in Los Angeles established the first professional chapter. So he was connected with someone that I worked with, and that's how I got my job here. So I think PIHRA, and I was actually a PIHRA member before I ever dreamed of being on staff. So really, PIHRA is a perfect marriage between my OD, strategic planning, organizational framework background, and my work at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, which was really on the membership side, building partnerships. I was focused on the Spanish speaking areas in Los Angeles County. And so this is a great marriage of those two aspects of my career for me. Also want to introduce you, talking about volunteer leadership, Sonia Montiel, who's here on the left of the slide. She is this year's new chair of the membership committee. She's fantastic. She has a background in leadership training in the educational sector, very accessible, also an advocate for you, our members. So you could reach out to me, or you could reach out to Sonia. Her email is here. If you have any questions or feedback, or you think that we might be interested in doing something differently for our members, please contact each one of us. And then I will just really quickly say, I did have a membership coordinator, and she has moved on to, I'm going to miss her a lot, Elisette Villanueva. So some of you know her. Yesterday or the day before was her last day. So I usually have a third person here, but we're going to start using technology in a different way to better serve our members. So she's not with us. She's decided to really focus on her growing family. So some exciting things ahead. And now I want to pass this over to my special guest, Garen, so he can introduce himself. Hi, Garen.
Hi everyone. I see some names of some people I've met from CAR and at other events this year, so that's always exciting. So my name is Garen, and I have been with PIHRA. I joined the end of 2017, so I work in Culver City, so I'm a part of the West LA chapter, and I live in West Hollywood. So I've basically been with PIHRA since for math almost 8 years. So in my first couple years, I was just a member going to events, going to our chapter meetings, and then I became the hospitality chair a couple years later. So I would, order the food for our um, educational events and put on some of our socials, like if we were meeting at a bar or doing something, the funner stuff that's not all business. And for the past couple years, I've been the vice chair. So I basically um, do whatever no one else can or needs a sub for. But my common thing, if you ever come to a West LA chapter event, is you'll always get a call from me saying like, "Hey, are you gonna come? Are you gonna be there? You paid $30. Better see you there." Um, I have really enjoyed PIHRA membership. My personal philosophy is you should, do something for yourself professionally and whatever personal cause that you have. So PIHRA is kind of like where I do things professionally. I am what many people would consider a vendor. So I call myself HR adjacent because I am an accounting and finance recruiter. So I work a lot with HR, especially to like get people over the line to accept an offer. Or if I'm like, hey, I need your benefits. Like I'm currently about to harass an HR person when I get off the phone because they told me they wanted to schedule someone on Monday and have not heard a peep from them. So work a lot with people in HR. My master's is actually in labor and human resources from Ohio State. So it's been good, like learning from HR people because my my company's HR is in Nashville. We don't really have like a dedicated HR person in our office. So sometimes when I see people do things, I'm like, I don't know if that's right. Let me ask someone in my chapter. Also, I think as far as just like a professional network, like we have things that happen at work where if we were to talk about them, you would be maybe seen as complaining or doing something. So it's like sometimes it's good to have like someone outside of your workplace. Like when something happens, they're like, "Hey, can I talk to you about this?" Like even though the people, especially within the West LA network, they may not understand what I'm venting about or vice versa, but it's just good to have that outlet. Um, Also, just as a person who would be considered a vendor, I have actually worked with some of um, people in my network to help them. I remember like 5 years ago, ended up placing someone who was looking for a position. Someone on my board was trying to connect us to help her find someone in her company. And there was another person, HR manager who's on the West LA board. Her company had to do like a wide spread of layoffs. So I was like, hey, if you want to give me your the people who are affected, I can, because I think her company was fully remote. So I kind of disseminated people where I had a chapter, or not a chapter, a branch, so that they could speak to various people. And she said that it was really helpful that the employees that she had to let go of had that additional support that I could provide them. So those are just like a couple of examples off the top of my head where I would say PIHRA membership has been very valuable to me, not just professionally, but socially. Um, and it definitely has helped me just like learn how to work with HR people in the best way because, I try not to be that annoying recruiter. So hearing from other professionals about the best touch has helped me in better partnering with other organizations. And
Garen, I'm
yeah,
gonna, you know what? That's awesome. I just want to interrupt you for a moment and then please chime in as we keep going.
yeah,
Um, Garen is a great example of a couple things. One, volunteer leadership. So when I start talking about the chapters, each of our chapters has, so there was somebody interested in volunteering. Each of our chapters, which I'll show you a map in a moment, they have their own board. So that would be the first place I would go. When I joined PIHRA, I started working with PIHRA Long Beach. They're so welcoming. So that is your first, if you're interested in volunteering, we have some slides coming up on that. Please let us know, and that would be your first stop. Second, Garen talked about he is HR adjacent. That's right. So we have right around, I think it's 80 to 90% of our membership base, which I do have an infographic on, are HR practitioners, but right around it vacillates between six, it depends on if you include attorneys, because we have a lot of attorneys who are members. Right between 6% to 11% are what I call service providers, what Garen's calling HR adjacent. That's exactly right. These are the people who are here to support HR and their natural partners. So Garen, please chime in and help me with the chat too. I'm just going to keep going and just don't worry about chiming in. I'm in the sake of time, I'm going to get going and then also so I can get to what our attendees really wanted to focus on. So here's our mission. We exist in California to really be there for the human resources community. We offer innovative programming and professional development. And as Garen was talking about, really high impact networking opportunities. Uh, Garen and his team at PIHRA West LA, as an example, that's where the richness of the community is. I think we have the warmest, most welcoming community that exists. We have the largest, I know for sure that we have the largest local HR community in the United States. We are the largest affiliate of SHRM. Some of you are familiar with the Society of Human Resource Management. Well, we are affiliated with SHRM. We are separate entities, so we have separate memberships at this point, but we're a chapter in good standing of SHRM. We were established in 1944. This year's our 80th anniversary, and I'll get into that in a moment. But and I also like to say when I talk about how old we are and or how how old our legacy is really, is that we were established before SHRM. So again, we were established in 1944 in downtown LA, exactly pretty much where I'm at right now. And SHRM was established somewhere in the Midwest, I think in 1947 or 1948. So that's just a little thing about our relationship with SHRM. And then here's some key players. So we're primarily volunteer led. Like I said, our chapters are volunteer led with people, fantastic people like Garen. And actually, little side note, I remember when I first met Garen, we put on an evening social. Do you remember that, Garen? At the WeWorks in Century
oh
City.
yes, that was actually the first pyro event I went to.
Yeah, I remember you from that. And he started volunteering pretty closely after that. So we wouldn't be able to do what we do without our volunteers. And let me introduce you to a key volunteer. She's the president of the board, Susan Bowman. You see that she's highly certified. So a couple of you talked about certification. We'll get to that in a moment. And she is a 25, 26 president of the PIHRA board. She has over 30 years experience as an HR practitioner at various levels. And she just recently left Rite Aid as a senior HR manager. So you'll see her a lot she's been going to a lot of chapter events too, but she was at the conference and you'll see her at most of our seminars as well. And I wanted to introduce you to Rafael Rivera. He is my direct boss and he brought me in and he's our chief executive officer. And I really credit him for really he revamped our brand. So we have a new logo since he's been around. He revamped our conference and really did some fantastic things with the conference. So some of you might have been around for a long time and seen PIHRA. And remember that the PIHRA conference used to be called the PIHRA Annual Conference. Well, he rebranded it to the California HR Conference and really has put together top-notch teams, got us through the pandemic, which was no small feat. And the conference programming, it just gets better and better. The pandemic, did kind of hit us hard, but he's been here and just been a strong player in the HR space. And so he is very reachable on LinkedIn, and so is Susan. Just look up Rafael Rivera on LinkedIn. You could send him a note and let him know that how well this orientation went. I'd appreciate, or how it didn't go well, so he could give me that feedback, or just let me know. But he's fantastic, and we have some fantastic players here. Here's this infographic I was talking about, just to really quickly give you a sense of who our membership is. This is from 2024. Not a lot has changed. I will revamp this soon. So right around 40% of our members are at the HR business partner manager generalist level. That might be you. We also have HR directors, right around 20%. We might have some HR directors in the house. We have HR specialists are around 8%, HR vice presidents and CHROs, they're around 8%. We have service providers, like I said. Here we kind of separate them out. So service providers could be our insurance brokers, staffing folks like Garen, health and wellness folks, so right around 6%. We also have employment law attorneys, which we're very well known for being the group that brings expert California law to you. So right around 2% are either academic or attorneys. And then right around 11% are HR consultants. And I kind of separate them out. So they're not in-house HR, but they're there to help you as well, or small. If you're a HR department of one, for example, you can reach out to our HR consultants that are pretty active members. 40% of our membership is HR certified. So I became HR certified in 2021. I passed the SHRM SCP. I cried after I passed that. So this just goes to show you 40% is a big number. Our membership really values HR certification. Garen, have you thought about certification? Are you certified?
No, that's not gonna be something that I will need to do based on
Okay,
my focus.
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, really quickly, our members represent over 2,300 companies, and the top industries represented by our members are manufacturing, consulting, nonprofit, healthcare, and education. So you could read the rest of that, and then you're getting these slides after this meeting anyway. So let's get to that burning question that you had about our chapters. If there's anything specific you want to know about our chapters, just let me know. But we have 18 chapters. Here's a map. We go as far north as Antelope Valley and Ventura County, Santa Clarita. We go as far east. Where am I? I think east is that way for me right now. Coachella Valley. So that group meets out of Desert Hot Springs. We go as far south as North County, San Diego. Right now, County, San Diego, we're doing quarterly events there, not a real active community right now. And then we have a Temecula Valley group, which is a small group, and South OC. I'm not seeing any slides. Ooh, all right. Sorry about that. Okay, I reshared the slides. Sorry about that. Here I am talking, and you're not seeing my slide. This is important. Great. Okay. So again, if there's any specific questions about the chapters, let me know. And then we go as far west as West LA and our South Bay chapter. So Garen is in West LA. You guys meet once a month in Santa Monica. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your monthly meetings, Garen?
Yeah. Yeah, so we meet once a month. We've been focusing more on educational this year, but typically we'll have like an educational one and then a fun one or one that's like in between. So our home base is at a place called Papil Gustative in Santa Monica. That's when we'll have our early morning meeting, and it's normally like something around where you can get your credit. I think the
Mm,
last one we had that I can remember was around how HR can navigate the various Trump executive orders. And we had our the lawyer that's on our board go over that. I think our next events, we're having one at the end of June because
mm.
apparently some week in June or the month of June is Employee Appreciation Month. There's so many months for everything, especially in June. And then August, we are having a co-event with our down at the end of August with the downtown LA chapter at the San Antonio Winery, and they'll probably be one of ours that's a mix of like social and educational. So feel free to follow me on LinkedIn, and because every time we have the actual information about it, I'll post it. But my chair, we just don't have the dates right now.
Yeah, I'm going to San Antonio Winery. So I like to think, and all of our chapters have their own culture. So I grew up in West LA. So I think of PIHRA West LA as a party chapter. I don't know if they like that or not.
I
And
I fitting for me as a vice chair.
it's fitting, right? Um, so if you want a good time and learn and meet some fantastic people, I mean, at their Christmas party, I think a group connected and they started a PIHRA hiking group.
Oh yeah, that's
So
actually next Saturday.
yes, are you going?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
me too.
because it's at Runyon, so I like live close by. So
Oh, okay, great, great, great. So, uh, in the chat, I put our calendar. Please go to the calendar. What else can I tell you? Our largest chapter is South OC. So I have been talking about, and I tried not to this time, but I will. Um, Pre-pandemic, we were close to 5,000 members. As you saw in the previous slide with our infographic, we're right around 3,400. So pre-pandemic, PIHRA South OC had 700 members. If you attended one of their meetings, you would meet like 100 HR folks plus natural partners. Right now, they're a little, lower in terms of membership size or smaller, right around 450 members. So if you attended one of their meetings, you still might meet like 60 people. And again, at the end of this slide deck, I have a list of all of our upcoming meetings. Our second largest chapter is PIHRA Los Angeles. That's our first chapter ever created back in 1944. They meet, they're having some socials coming up, and they typically meet at the City Club, which is a beautiful venue. And it's a little lower in terms of member attendance, but you can meet 30 to 40 people there. What does it feel like to go? Because some of you had questions about member meetings. Um, any PIHRA, I'm sorry, chapter meetings, any PIHRA member can attend any chapter meeting at the member price. I just advise you to register in advance. And so each chapter has a different topic every month. So we'll see as we when we get to the slide with all the meetings coming up. Some will be employment law, some will be HR strategy, some will be investigatory HR. Investigatory, I don't know if that's a word, but I think you know what I mean. Some will be talking about employee engagement, talent acquisition. There's been a lot of employment law attorneys talking about how to interpret executive policies that are coming through and how is it going to affect California or not. So a lot of different topics. Again, as a PIHRA member, you could attend any of the chapter meetings. When you become a PIHRA member, you do select your preferred chapter. So that could be, for example, Garen chose PIHRA West LA because he works in Culver City. So it's convenient for him, but he may live, and I don't know where you live, Garen, but he may live in LA or close to Hollywood. So he's close to Runyon Park, like you said, so he can go to that specialty group event. The
Our
meetings,
just to add in, our former chair, he from West LA, he actually lived in Pasadena, but because he worked in West LA, that's why he chose that as his home chapter.
right. So that's how that works. And then non-members can attend any meeting as well. You just pay the non-member price, and we'll get to that in a moment. But what do you expect at a chapter meeting? There you will pay for the chapter meeting, and the reason is that there's usually a meal. And then the chapters have to pay for the venue. So chapters, they don't have, they're all volunteer based, again, led by volunteers. They're quite autonomous, but they're not brick and mortar. So there's an email attached to the chapters, and the chair usually gets the emails. So there's a cost. When you walk in, they're usually like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. There's a registration period. There's networking going on. Um, some of the chapter meetings, they'll have new members introduce themselves when they attend their first meeting. Some will ask, and I don't know if West LA does this, but they'll ask, is anyone open to work? And they'll allow you to introduce yourself. And then they'll also ask, does anyone have HR open positions? And people will get up and say, yeah, I know of a HR coordinator job, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just a fantastic place to go. Please start thinking about setting a goal to attend at least one PIHRA chapter meeting this year, but I highly suggest you do one a quarter. If you're not going to PIHRA chapter events, I get it. There's a lot of associations and nonprofits out there that you can affiliate yourself with. Just get out there. Don't stay isolated. The pandemic really taught me, because I do tend to isolate, that I don't want to do life and I don't want to do my career alone. So this is where you're going to find what a previous PIHRA volunteers called her HR Fab Five. I call it your HR Board of Advisors. You're going to be able to meet those people who get on your speed dial list when something goes haywire at work, because HR can be a little lonely, even if you're in a large organization. You want to be not only networking internally in large organizations, but externally to bring in fresh and different ideas. So I can't emphasize how important it is to get out there. If it's not PIHRA, totally understand. And Raphael, I'm the membership director. I want you to become a member. I want you to be satisfied with your membership, but I also want you to get a community where you feel connected to, and you get the resources and the motivation and the inspiration that you need to be successful. I do see something in the chat. Let's see. Do you know if the Long Beach meeting chapter was last week or this week? I will have that soon, Delia. So I will show that. I do think they have something coming up.
I was just asking because this month we have an extra week, so I wasn't sure if it's still the third Thursday.
No, so again, don't follow that Thursday
Oh, okay.
framework. Go to the calendar, but I think they have something on
Oh,
the last slide. So hold
okay.
out,
Thank you.
Delia. Okay, cool. Really quickly, we also have 4 interest groups. The PIHRA Foundation. Oop, did I hang up? Are we still good? The PIHRA Foundation, the Government Advocacy Team. We have a PIHRA College Relations and Emerging Leaders Group. They're also always all volunteer led. Let's get into the benefits, because I see people that are, hey, when's the next meeting? So if you're not a member, here's a great opportunity for you. because it's our 80th anniversary, we have a special $80 member rate all year long. It's there are some eligibility requirements, but if you go to PIHRA.org/80th membership special, you'll see that you could join for $80. There's no promo code required. You should have my email address, so if you have any trouble with this, just let me know. It's a limited offer. We're only offering 80 per month, but I don't think we haven't met that quota yet. And the eligibility requirement is this. It's for new in-house HR professionals. I didn't create the eligibility requirement, so I'm just the messenger, but it's for new people to PIHRA who are in-house HR practitioners. You're also eligible if you've been lapsed for 3+ years. If it's been 2 years, I might be able to give it to you as well. If you have any questions about the 80th anniversary special, please let me know. But it's a great way to join right now. Let's see. What are the most popular benefits? Here's the top 6, and I can get into some details in a moment. HR education, you're not going to find as affordable, actionable, and impactful HR education than what we offer at the chapters. We have, gosh, you'll see in the last slide deck, at least 10 different meetings going on at any month. We have free webinars. We're focused on California HR. We're very well known for our annual California Employment Law Update. It's coming up in October, and that's where our partners on the California law side, they come with a fresh look at the interpretation of all the new laws that the governor just signed in September, at the end of September. So you're getting it fresh from us. We also, with your membership, you get an HR advisory hotline. It's through Mineral. Just that you would pay $1,200. You can call them an unlimited amount of time, which is really unheard of. That online tool also has a smart employee handbook builder. Again, a huge value to you if you would to purchase that. That's another $400, $500. I talked about the free webinars, and what is priceless are these relationships, this community building. I can't emphasize that enough. Here's a little bit more about the PIHRA Workplace, which is that Mineral piece. If you have any trouble, if you're a new member and you haven't logged in, just email me at membership@pihra.org. I will help you, send you instructions, make sure it works for you. But that's where you're going to have the compliance center. There are hundreds of policies. There's an employee handbook builder. There's a job description builder. Also, at PIHRA Live, all you got to do is call this number. They'll ask you maybe for your name and company name, and ask them a question. You will be vetted first. So in other words, they'll ask you, what question do you have? And then they'll field the right person to help answer that. This is staffed by senior certified HR practitioners. It's not in place of an attorney. California law is very specific. If you have something that's is law related, they can give you some advice, but it's never going to be in lieu of speaking to an attorney. So just warning you there. And then we have this fantastic enterprise-wide learning management system. We call it PIHRA Learn. There's over 200 core courses in there, and you as HR practitioners can create learning tracks and administer these online learning tracks to your employees for free with your PIHRA membership. It does not include the mandatory sexual harassment, or I think there's a mandatory OSHA training, but you can upgrade to that and include that as well. So I'm going to pause for a second. Any other questions or something that I missed? Let's see. No slides again? Let's reshare the slides. Philip, is $80 a one-time fee or annual fee? It's an annual fee. We have an annual membership. Great question. So, okay, Stephen, you do see that. Oh, Delia, do you have to leave? Okay. Well, you'll get these slides, by the way, so you'll see all the upcoming events coming up. We have a corporate type membership. If you're interested, you could scan this, but you'll also get these slides. I'm going to speed through this. Volunteerism. If you're interested in volunteering, feel free to email me. I'll send an email introduction to you for the chapter where you think you want to volunteer. I suggest attending chapter meetings first to see, hey, do I feel good? You know, I have a philosophy. It's like I like to do work with people I like, and people that like you want to work with you. So go check out a couple chapters, see where you feel like you fit in the best. You can also go to PIHRA.org/volunteer to find out about the different sorts of roles that exist. And also there's something you could scan there, and you'll get some contacts from the different regions that we have, and information about the chapter chair and their email address for the chapter that you might be interested in. Just any other questions before I move on? Or anything, Garen, that you'd want to add before I move on to learning and networking?
Not that I can think of, but I definitely highly suggest going to the events that we have, or especially, and like I said, you really, not that, like I said, you, like Lily said, you don't have to go to any particular chapter one to meet some really good people.
Fantastic. So HR education, let's get into learning and networking. We have virtual learning, chapter meetings. So all of our chapters are a little different. Another great example for you is, and I think, so I heard someone from Long Beach is here. Any other, Allison, you're from Long Beach? I don't see any other cities. Pasadena, Mitch, you're in Pasadena, and I met you at the conference too, so I'm so glad you're here. Uh, for example, Pasadena, they had morning meetings, something that we learned from the pandemic. Our chapters are kind of adjusting. We want to meet you where you are. And what we're finding is that, morning meetings don't work for everybody. I know for me, they don't work. I have a daughter I have to get to school in the morning. So lunchtime meetings and evening meetings are better for you. Pyra Long Beach is changing it up. So they just had a fantastic meeting. I think it was at the beginning of May or end of April, where they did a CHRO panel. I wasn't able to attend. I was sad about that. Um, but they had the CHRO of Cedars-Sinai there, and it was an evening meeting. So it was kind of like Garen was talking about, it was a hybrid of a social and a programmatic event where you could receive HR certification credit. I didn't mention that. If you're HR certified, 95% of our meetings you can receive HR certification from. We have conferences. We just had the California HR conference. We have the California Employment Law Update coming up. We have specialty programs. So go to the calendar. I'm really excited to talk about our next program, which I'm going to introduce in a moment here. Members get at least $10 off of all of our different meetings. Sometimes socials. By the way, a meeting can cost anywhere between $35 to $45 for members, and then it goes up around $10 for non-members. The on-site rate can also go up because we want to make sure you register in advance so that we get the right numbers to the caterer and etc. So and then members get better rates at the conferences as well. We have free webinars I told you about. We have a great PIHRA Pasadena's chair, Michelle Landrum, actually helped me put together the virtual peer exchange. That's coming up on June 17th, free. And then in South Bay chapter also, they do some interesting things in terms of meeting you where you are. They'll do a more traditional morning meeting, then they'll do a webinar, and then following month, they'll do a social in the evening. So they're doing a webinar on July 10th. It's called Unwinding a Whirlwind, a review of legal developments and trends affecting the workplace. So that's pretty popular right now, that legal aspect. Uh, get certified. Some of you had questions about certification. And we are not the certification agency, but we do provide prep courses. And I think that we have one of the best or the best actually SHRM SCP, CP, and SPHR and PHR certification instructors west of the Mississippi. His name is Richard Dawson. He's fantastic. I think one just started or is starting tomorrow for the SPHR, PHR. If you have any questions about that, I'd be delighted to help you offline. And the email I sent you after this webinar, I'll also send you some information about certification. I highly suggest it. I got my SHRM SCP. Just so you know, I studied 170, at least 170 hours for that. It's different for everybody. I'm not a great test taker, and I had been out of school for a long time when I was studying for the exam, so I really had to buckle down. By the way, so back to what I was saying, 170 hours. The prep courses for me weren't enough. I had to do all the reading. I had to. What I did like about the prep courses is that you meet people when you get the standard material, and Richard Dawson walks you through it. But you also meet people taking the test at the same time you're taking it. So I would uh, invite them offline to do study groups, and that held me accountable, and that really worked for me. So that's my advice with HR certification. Um, Oh gosh, Paula, the conference was fantastic. I'm sorry you missed it. And we could talk if we have time. We could talk a little bit, but kind of running close on time. Now, this is one of our specialty events that's happening, and there's a lot of people signing up right now. The first PIHRA HR cruise ever. I think I'm going as part of staff. I'll just be for all of you. Long timers out there, I'm gonna try to do my best to be your Julie McCoy on that event. It's happening on February 2026. We have an employment law attorney that's joining us. We have some other speakers already lined up. Go to this QR code, or you can go to hrcruise.org. We've got the URL, so I'm really excited about that. hrcruise.org, and you can reserve your spot for $100. And it's pretty affordable, especially if you go with a family member. You could share the room, or maybe go with your colleague or someone you meet at PIHRA. So it's going to be a 5-day cruise, 2 days full of HR professional development, and the rest you'll just be able to have fun. We will have a little bit of fun PIHRA events. Like I said, I don't know how much of a Julie McCoy I'll be, but we'll have an opening event in the evening, kind of like a happy hour. So I'm really excited about this, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for you to get your professional development and some fun in. Um, I do see there might be something in the slide. So I'm almost done here, and I wanted to get to this quickly so we could talk a little bit about it. But here are all the events coming up until June 26th. Please set a goal for yourself to attend one of these, even if it's one of the virtual events. So we have May 24th. This is what me and Garen were talking about, the inaugural wellness walk. We have like 34 people signed up for this, and we have our fantastic facilitator Brad DeCamarmon, who's a member. He's going to be facilitating the hike. I'll be there. Garen will be there. So come join us. It'll be a lot of fun. We have a lot of wellness firms that want to sponsor that. So this is going to get better and better each month. and we're hoping to kind of rotate it around. So if you're one of those outdoor people like me, please join us. What's coming up in Long Beach? June 26th, someone was asking about Long Beach. They have a meeting. Usually they meet at the Grand off of Willow in Long Beach, and that topic is employee retention. So that'll be good. I'm also working with PIHRA Long Beach to do a summer mixer with them somewhere. So that'll be in July if you like to do the happy hour sort of thing. Let's see, any other meetings here? PIHRA Riverside on May 29th. I don't know if there's anyone in the Riverside area. I really like this topic when HR gets hard. How do you handle that? And so they're doing some great stuff there. PIHRA Burbank Glendale for Mitch, you're in Pasadena. This shouldn't be too far from you for you. On May 27th, they have a meeting titled Moving Past Fears to Get Ahead, which is probably more leadership development focus. So there's so many things to do. Again, please set a goal. And if you are a little social, have social anxiety like I do, just email me. If I can't meet you there, I'll email someone like Garen and that I know will be there so that he can greet you when you attend. You don't have to do HR alone at all. We have a fantastic community. Um, I had, when I first joined PIHRA as a staff person in 2014, I met a lot of more people. And one of the people I met was the former membership chair of PIHRA Long Beach. She had been a member for over 20, 30 years. She's still a member, and I think she's retired now. And I asked her name's Paula. I said, Paula, how and why have you been a member for so long? And she said, Lily, I met my best friend at a PIHRA Long Beach meeting. And that was 10 years ago that she said that to me. And I've met some fantastic friends through PIHRA. So it's not just professional, it's personal. So go on this PIHRA journey with us. Maybe you'll meet your best friend. I've had romantic connections happen at meetings. And so I really want to encourage you to do that. So I'm almost done. I don't know, Garen, if you have some final thoughts that you wanted to share, or anyone have any final questions? We have a couple minutes left.
Um, yeah, I think I know we've become more of a virtual world, and that's definitely a lot more convenient for a lot of things. But any chance you have to do to get in person, get in front of another person, I think you'll really you'll get a lot more bang out of your buck from that.
Absolutely. I think breaking bread, which is what my cousin would say, with people during breakfast or lunch or even appetizers, it connects you in a different way. So I think in person, going into the office, I know some of you are like, I don't want to stop being a remote, but I know for me, I need to get into the office every now and then. I need to just be around people just for their energy. Because honestly, I don't need to talk to too many people. Because I have that social awkwardness, but just being around people and smiling, I get a lot of energy from that. So, um, someone asked what the conference was like, and I'm going to put a uh, a quote that I saw on LinkedIn about the conference. So in the chat, so you can hear from somebody else and not me. So this person said that she left feeling energized and thankful for the amazing community, because really that's what was there. The professional development was fantastic, but the energy at this year's conference, you got to be there in person. So I highly suggest that. And Paula, yes, Coachella Valley, I think they have something coming up too. Hopefully you saw that. Let's just look at that really quickly. They so the next week on the 21st, which I forget what, I think it's Wednesday, they meet very religiously every month, and their next meeting is May 21st. It's a breakfast meeting. Gosh, it's at the it's at a country club. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but they're talking about they have someone talking about the labor market and a more kind of macro look at that. So I hope you could join them. Please connect with us on LinkedIn. We have a very active community there. Connect with me and Garen on LinkedIn. I'll make sure to share those in the email I send. We have a great community on Instagram, Facebook, not so much. X, probably not as active. And then we do have this forum. I don't think it's as active as I would like, but it's a community where you could put questions on. I would also go to the company page and our chapter groups on LinkedIn. Just search for whatever group you want to join. PIHRA West LA has a group, PIHRA Riverside, PIHRA Pasadena, and that's where I would post a question myself. Thank you so much for joining me. Contact me anytime.
The
I
last
want to make
thing,
sure.
sorry, the last thing I will say is West LA may be out of the way for a lot of you, but a lot of people will travel land and sea to our holiday party at the end of the year.
Oh,
People
yes.
from like Ventura and other chapters. So if you ever wanted to check out West LA once, I would do so in December.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Garen, for joining us today. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. We're adjourned. I kept you a little late, but thank you. Thank you for joining. I hope to see you all soon at a PIHRA event. Thanks, Garen. Ciao.